Okay. I think we're finally ready to start. That was a whole lot of messing around, so if you're watching this after the fact, you will have just seen a whole lot of nothing. But I think we're good now. So let's share this to the world. Well, not to the world, but to Patreon. I can't cover up that button. How am I going to do that? I'm going to have to cover it up just for a second. Sorry, the chat will be covered for just a moment. It's easier for me to do Patreon in Safari than it is in the other things. So, are you even... I don't think that is covering that up. It isn't. Hooray. Okay. Wait. Yeah, it did cover it up. That's okay. That's all right. I'll get you back up in a second. Let me go to Patreon. Oh, why doesn't it keep me signed in? Okay, hang on. I know I'm running late. 20 minutes late. Took me 20 minutes to figure out that chat thing. I hope it works. All right. New post. Video. There we go. Make it for patrons only. Publish. Okay, thank you for your patience. I really wanted to figure out how to get the chat box on the screen. I know it doesn't look all that pretty, but at least you guys can, who are watching it after the fact, can see the chat. Now let me just drop it over on Patreon. I always have a hard time finding the Patreon group on Facebook. It should be easy. It's my own group, but there we are. There we go. Posted there as well. There. Phew. Okay, so I'm going to close that down, and I need... nothing to see here. We popped out. Okay, hang on. Woo! I don't know what you're seeing there. You're probably seeing weird things. Okay, we have to go back into OBS, I think. Nope, we have to go back into Chrome. Okay, hang on. I'm going to restore the chat, and then I'm going to pop it out again. Pop out the chat. And now, is that doing what it's supposed to do? No, it isn't. Hang on. I know how to do it now, at least. Sort of. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. I just have to not cover it up. There. Okay. So, I think we're ready. So, I will give you guys the heads up that my family is home today. Scott is leaving pretty soon, and I might have to run up and down stairs to. They're just kind of doing their own thing this morning. They're fine. They have cello to practice and a couple of other chores and activities to do, and then they can just have some free time. So I think they will be fine. Hi, Mo. You think it's working? Okay, wonderful, wonderful. I just wanted to try something different, which is to include the live chat right under, like right on the screen. I'm hoping that that will help. It will mean that I won't have to read everybody's comments so that the people who are watching after the fact have to, like, I don't want them to have to feel left out of our conversation. So this, I think, will really help. I also figured out a way to change the latency, which means the lag between what I'm saying and when you hear it and see it. However, when I did that, the quality of the video went down so low that YouTube kept yelling at me and saying that it wasn't good. So I turned that part off. And I think I have to change some settings in the others. Like there's a software that has to talk to my camera. Like it basically talks between my camera and YouTube and does some encoding. Good morning, Evie. Yeah, so anyhow, I will work that out. I would really love this to be a little bit more easier interaction so that there's less, so the less of the lag will help with that. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, guys, I'm having a very difficult time communicating this early Sunday morning. Better grab my coffee. It's over here on my warmer and it's very full. I put too much milk in my coffee this morning. Do you guys all have coffee today? I hope so, especially those of us who aren't in Europe because it's very early. It's only 9 o'clock here. That's not that early really, but or 10 to 9. So I do apologize for the delay. That was me trying to get the chat on the screen. I really do hope that that helps for people who watch it after the fact because the majority of my patrons don't get to join us live. And so I wanted to make sure that they're not feeling left out just because they live in a certain part of the world or they have a work schedule or something that keeps them from joining us. So now on my little tiny screen, I can't really see what those comments say, but I hope that you guys can see it. It'll also give you guys a sense of the delay, I guess, because you'll... Oh, and is my volume okay? Can you guys hear me all right? Can you just give me a little thumbs up or we can hear you, Tracy? And I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to be playing with today. I'm really just going to be playing today. So the idea here is that I'm not going to make a card or make a project or anything. I'm just going to play around with these new products that I have. I actually, Stampin' Up! Sent me a whole bunch of stuff. They're so generous. They're one of the more generous companies. I ask for stuff and they just automatically send me extras, which is quite nice. Oh, I have something to share with you guys. I have decided to switch to the Stampin' Up! Trimmer. And I'm really excited about it. So I didn't actually have any problem with my Caterpillar crop trimmer, which I really love, and I spent a lot of money on it. So I was kind of keeping on using it more just for, okay, good, you can hear me. Thanks, Mo. I was really just sticking with it more out of principle, like I spent a lot of money on it. It does trim really nicely, and I do enjoy using it. It is hard for me to store it under my desk compared to something really lightweight like this. Whoops. That's just the little channel that goes in here. It's supposed to remove, but not quite that easily. I don't think you're supposed to hold it upside down. Anyhow, this one is just a lot easier for me in terms of being able to use it in my videos. And so I wasn't sure. The thing that kept me from buying this trimmer in the very first place is that it's the kind that uses the, like it has a little blade that you really just kind of drag across the paper. And I have other trimmers that have that blade, and I find that they kind of don't cut as crisply as I like a cut to be. When I'm cutting, I mean, if I don't want it crisp, then I'll use my ruler. Obviously, I'm not very particular about crisp edges. But when I'm making cards and stuff, I actually do want it to be quite crisp. And so when I saw that the Stampin' Up! Trimmer had that instead of a rotary blade, I felt like I probably wouldn't like it. But then I used it as at a crop, and it trimmed so nicely despite the fact that it's just one of those draggy blades. So, and I think that has to do with this channel here. That just fell out. This channel, I think, is what makes it work, because you're actually, I don't know, I think that that's what helps, because my other trimmer that has a blade like that doesn't have a little channel. It's just like cutting into, I don't know, something that is different than that. I need to get better verbal skills for these live chats. Anyhow, it has the arm, and I really like it, and I'm going to do a whole video all about it, but I thought I would let you guys know, because you'll probably notice that I'm using this instead. Mo's been using it for a couple years, so I'll just read this. I don't have to read it out loud anymore. You have to change the blade often. Yeah, I meant to actually, you change it every month. Oh my goodness, that is very often. Okay, so that's good to know. I meant to buy some extra blades with it, and I forgot to. So I don't use my trimmer for every single thing I do either. So I'm thinking my blades might last longer. I don't know. We'll see. Anyhow, I'm keeping it down here in the cabinet beside my legs, and I'll see how it goes. Today will actually be the first time I use it. I have some pieces of paper here. These are cardstock from Stampin' Up. I have Crumb Cake and I have Whisper White, and they're just cut to the size of a card, what I call a card liner, which is just a quarter of an inch smaller than a card. So it's 5.25 by 4. I don't make cards often enough to know the names of things, like the dimensions off by heart. I have the Christmas Staircase Thinlit dies here. Have a look at these. And I'll do a whole video where I talk about them in more detail, but these are the dies that go with this stamp set. And I wanted to make some cards with this stamp set for Christmas this year. And I also got the, what is this called? The Quilted Christmas 6x6 Designer Series paper. So let's have a look at this. All right. Yes, it's also, yes, that's right. You made a good point, Evie, which is that you can score with this as well. That's why there are 2 blades. And my first impression was to just take off the scoring one, because I thought I'm hardly ever going to score, but I left it in there because it really doesn't interfere at all with trimming. So I'm just going to leave it. And yeah, I like that you can score. We'll see how often I use it for that, because I usually pull out my Martha Stewart scoreboard, but if I'm just scoring a card, like a single card, I think it might be handy to have it right there on your trimmer. So this is this 6x6 paper, designer series paper. It's called Quilted Christmas, and it has all of these Christmas quilty like patterns on it. I'll do a quick flip for you guys. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad it's on your list, so I will show it to you. Maybe I'll show it to you a little bit slower. It's really pretty. I like that some of the larger patterns that I might not use, like this one, for example, has like something a little bit less bold on the other side. I love this one. And I mean, I might use that. They look nice cut out and stuff. I don't dislike that, but I do like that it has like all of the B-sides are pretty pretty basic B-sides, like they're mostly tone-on-tone B-sides. Here comes Scott. He's going to kiss me goodbye. He's not going to want to. Are you leaving? Yeah. See you later. Yeah. You too. Bye. I I don't think he likes coming in here when I'm live streaming. I don't know. He hasn't said. Okay. So yeah, I really like that the B-sides are either pretty much tone on tone green or tone on tone red. Really lovely for Christmas. And then the other sides have, like the A side has a bit more color and visual interest and contrast as well. So actually they sent me 2 packs of they actually sent me 4 packs of this, even though I only asked for 1. And they gave me a whole bunch of extras for me to do a really great giveaway. I'm going to be giving away the stamp set, the dies, 2 packs of this paper. And I'm also going to give away another pack of this paper too, because they sent me 2 of these. So everything they sent me 2 of, I'm giving away. So, and I'm pretty sure that they sent me those specifically to give away. So, so this other paper, I don't know if this is from their Christmas or if it's just from their main collection, like from their main catalog, but it's called Wood Textures Designer Series Paper. Oh, I got a cat hair on my face. And I thought that these would make nice, warm, woodsy, kind of warm and cozy companion papers for Christmas cards or winter cards. And they're double-sided like the others, and they have all different beautiful wood grains. Sorry, pardon my hat while I just get caught up on the photos. Oh no, sorry, on the comments. Oh my goodness. Oh yes, Evie brings up that there's a die that fits some of these patterns, and you're right. It's right here, the Stampin' die set right here, and I didn't ask for that. I focused on this page, and I'm going to try to recreate something like this and do a couple of different options with the staircase. So let's see what we can come up with here. I'm going to go and get my stamping platform and some of that sort of thing. Yes, that is a great set for quilting with, like where you can kind of like cut out different pattern papers and then piece it together with a pattern. I think that would be really cool. Ah, they were sold out of the wood paper in the US. That is too bad. So I think I'm going to use my middle-sized Misty. I am a little spoiled in that I have all 3 Misties. The lady who makes the Misties is very kind to me and always sends me one whenever she makes a new one. So this is a prototype from before she was actually selling them in a large scale way. She sent me one, and so that's what my normal one is. And then I also have this little one is way more handy than I ever thought it would be because it's just so tiny. It's especially good when you're making videos because it doesn't take up as much space on your desk. So, but I'm going to use my middle-sized one. It's kind of my standard go-to. And because it has this foam in it, I often just stamp on it even if I'm not using the Misty. Like I'll still use this as a stamping surface, and I may or may not use the hinged block. But since it's here, I almost always do. So we have a total of 6 people watching. 1 of those is me. 2 of those I think are me. So there's 4 of us. So hello everybody. If you're watching on Patreon, I won't see your comments, and in order for you to show up in our comments, you will have to click the little box that says YouTube in the bottom corner of that window and watch us over on YouTube. You can also, I think you can maybe click the share and get the URL and then put it in your web browser. There might be a couple of different ways for you to get yourself over here to YouTube so you can participate along with us and chat as well. So Yes, Evie and Mo are having a little chat about that wood paper. It's really, really pretty paper. I love it. It's very versatile. Do they make it in 12 by 12? That would be great. So just to clarify, the reason Stampin' Up! Sent me all of this stuff is because I do some work for the magazine for Scrapbook and Cards Today. And my Find Your Mojo series that I do for them, they send me supplies so that I always have supplies to do my videos. So that's why they're sending me these. So these stamps are so cute. I don't know where to start, but I think I'm going to start with I was really intrigued by this idea of stamping this tree and then using the dies to get like a really dimensional tree with these dies right here. So I think that's what I'm going to start with. So I will start with that. Yes, a friend of mine who scrapbooks with me has, I think it's the Tim Holtz one. She has one that isn't the Misty, and it works really great. It works pretty much the exact same way. So, yeah, you have to, you know, stay within your budget when you're scrapbooking for sure. So, okay. So that's going to look pretty nice right there. I'm going to have to go and get some ink, so I'll be right back. And pardon the mess in my room. It's pretty messy. What colors am I going to want? I like Old Olive. I like Pear Pizzazz. I don't think I have Pear Pizzazz. Yeah, I do. Wild Wasabi. And let's get some reds. Cherry Cobbler is a nice red. I like that one. That's it for now. Maybe I should get a brown as well. Whew. Okay. So I don't know if you can see it or not. Oh, you can see just a little tiny bit of it. Just a little tiny bit of it in the background. Yes, the Tim Holtz one, it really does work nicely. It would be really nice to get it in 12 by 12. My friend was using it and it even makes the exact same noise. Like I actually thought that she had my Misty over there. And then I took a look and it was her own thing. So, Mo, you'll be happy to know that this sweetie arrived in the mail just yesterday. Well, I picked it up just yesterday. I think it arrived a couple of days ago. So I will be talking about that. And I might get to retire my little one that doesn't do a very good job with the tension. Or maybe I'll fix it and I'll have one have white thread and one be black thread. How's that for a spoiled scrapper? Yes, those sentiment stamps can be quite expensive too, can't they, Evie? I bought a couple when I was a Stampin' Up! Demo, and I refuse to buy more. I just keep using the old ones. I mean, sentiments are sentiments. They never really go out of style. So I wanted to use a fairly light colored ink, so I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz. I don't know if I'll regret that, but that's what playing is all about. It's all about saying, okay, let's just see how this looks, and if it's too dark and you can see too much, or maybe it'll be nice if you can see some of it through. So one thing that I always do, and I don't know if it's because I have the protocol, but I find that my Misty doesn't open flat, like there's this foam here, and then when I'm always worried when I'm inking up my stamp that I'm putting pressure on these what are they called? Hinges. Oh my goodness. I am having word finding difficulty today. So I don't like to do that. So I almost always, I just have this foam in my stash I forget what it's from, but it's like a mouse pad, but without a smooth surface on it. I just leave it there, and that way I can just press away and not have to worry about putting any pressure on the hinges. And I don't know if the Tim Holtz one you need to be worried about that, or if it's designed a little bit differently. And also, again, it could be that it's the prototype. I don't quite know. I know, isn't that a cute sewing machine? I love the color of it. So that is the sewing machine that we gave away for International Scrapbooking Day. That was one of the grand prizes, and Mo very generously offered that up because she won 2 of them. Can you guys believe that? What a great prize. So anyhow, the winner of the prize she has a policy of not accepting prizes. Instead, she likes a donation to be made to a domestic violence charity. And so she told me the charity that she likes, and so I sent them a donation in the retail amount, like the same amount as the retail value of that sewing machine. And then I decided, because mine was really acting up at the time and I could barely use it, I decided that I would kind of like buy it from her, and then she gives the money to charity, only I just gave the money directly to charity. So we just skipped that step. So now I have, pardon me, I have a new sewing machine. Sharp corners now on your edging. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you referring to? The fact that I have nice crisp edges? Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. It's the sewing machine. There's that delay kind of getting in the way of our interaction. You're still talking about the sewing machine, of course. So was I. Maybe it's just too early for me to be socializing. Okay. Now I'm going to use, instead of my Big Shot, for the sake of space, I'm going to use my little Cuttlebug to cut these out instead of my Big Shot. So let's get these off the card. Hello, Christine. Good morning. How are you today? Nice to have you join us. Yes, I know you were talking about the sewing machine, Evie. I know, duh. I am like so out of it. I need to drink more coffee if I'm going to have a morning live stream, because I'm having trouble thinking of words and following a really basic conversation. All right. So those are the pieces that I want to use. And now, what color of cardstock am I going to use? So just for those of you who just joined us, we are using the Ready for Christmas stamp set and I think it's called something staircase. What's it called? Christmas Staircase Thinlit Dies. These are all from Stampin' Up, and I started by stamping a tree onto my, let's just get rid of this for a second, onto my piece of cardstock, and now I'm going to layer a whole bunch of fun little branches to give it some dimension, and I'm really excited to do this. So it's early where you're at too. Can you guys remind me where you're all from? I have horrible memories for that kind of thing. I'm just really bad at remembering names and places. Hey, Katie Lee is here. Welcome, Katie. I'm so glad you could join us. I just have to grab some cardstock. So they sent me some cardstock. This is Quilted Christmas cardstock, and it has a really bright green, a really dark green, and a nice red. And I don't know what the Stampin' Up! Colors are for these, but I will look it up before I do my official video. because they usually like me to know these things. You know, a lot of prep work goes into those sorts of, the videos that I do where a company sends me something for free. First of all, I don't agree to do any reviews for free because, like for supply, like, wait a minute, that makes it sound like I only pay. I don't accept any money to do reviews. So I am sometimes approached by companies who want to give me money to review their products. So I don't do that. That's just a policy that I have. But if people want to send me some stuff for me to try, I don't do a review. What I do is an unboxing, which is not really giving my opinion. It's clear if I like a product because I will then start using it. Like, for example, the thicker alignment tools, American Craft sent those to me. I didn't review it, but I did do kind of like an unboxing or here's what they are and here's how you use them. And I give my honest opinion on them, usually. Well, it's always my honest opinion, but I don't always give an opinion. Sometimes I just show you what it is, and then you'll see me using it, and that's a sign that I like the product and that it works for me. Sometimes products are perfectly fine products and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them, but they just don't work for me. So for example, a company sent me some foil stuff and I did a video on it, and it was like, they're fine, like they work exactly the way they're supposed to work, they're really easy, but foil just isn't my thing, so I haven't really adopted it. So the video was just, here's foil, here's how it works, you can get it from this company. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I love this foil, it's so awesome, I'm going to use it all the time, because that's just not, not true. So I wouldn't say that or do that. So I hope that that's clear. So yes, so they sent me this, and I will have to do some research and find out what colors are in this paper before I do the video. They're pretty colors though. Look at them. They're very nice. What a nice combination, and they will look really great with, well, they have the same name as this. It has the same green. Well, both of the same greens, I guess. So, okay. So I know Christine is in Moncton, Evie's in Houston. Katie is Australian, living in the Netherlands. Awesome. So glad you guys could all make it. Evie's in her jammies. What kind of jammies do you wear, Evie? Do you have the nice, comfy, cozy kind? I guess probably not in Texas, huh? Not at this time of year in Texas. Let's see. My daughter is wearing, I'll show you what she's wearing because I took a screenshot of our monitoring camera. I love having that camera for Project Life, you guys. It is awesome. So let me find the So there we go. So she's wearing her cat onesie. She put down the hood for the picture, but that's me eating breakfast, and well, that's actually, I'm taking a screenshot of the camera when I'm doing that. It's 2:15 for Katie in Australia. Yeah, Australia. No, you're in the Netherlands. Right. Tank tops and shorts here. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. All right, so what are we going to do? We got to cut this down so that it will fit in this. So I usually just kind of hold it up so I know how wide to make it. I just make it a little bit, not quite as long. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to make a couple of passes here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so it's hard finding a balance with my YouTube channel because I want to share as much as I can with my viewers, but I don't always have the time, and also it's always a bit of a risk when somebody sends you something and you're not sure if you're going to like it or how it's going to work, and then there's always kind of like pressure, especially with like small companies that, you know, like I don't feel so much pressure when it comes to a big, huge company, but with a small company, it kind of feels like, you know, they're sending you their product and you want to like it and they want you to like it. And sometimes it just doesn't work. I've been really lucky where most of the, well, all of the products that people have sent me, I usually have a sense and I'll usually just say no if I think that it's not going to work for me. I have a couple of companies that keep contacting me about like digital content, and I just don't think that that's in line with my viewers, and I don't know. It's the kind of thing that I could use the digital content. Like I would love to have them send me some stuff for free, but I don't think that it's really what my viewers are all that interested in getting, so I keep saying no. All right. So see, then you just kind of layer it. Oh, and look, it lines up perfectly. Look at how they did that. Stampin' Up! Is so smart. They're great. Now this one didn't cut very well in my little machine. Oh, wait, I have a little thing. I have a thing for that. Hey, look, I have one of these. Do you guys have one? What does your shirt say? It says, choose life. It's the wake you up before you go shirt. Because I'm a George Michael fan. Okay, now, hang on. What am I supposed to do with this? I'm using it wrong, aren't I? I think I'm supposed to use it on... It would help if you've read the instructions. Yeah, you're supposed to use it on the die. Love intricate die designs, but not removing extra pieces of paper. Make it easy. Use the Big Shot die brush to roll away excess pieces. The brush does not remove the paper from the die itself, just the excess pieces that you discard. Oh, okay. So you run the die through the Big Shot, place the die paper side down on the foam mat, and then you roll the brush over the die like that. I see. Gotcha. Okay, so let's try it with this then. Wait, no, this doesn't have any extra pieces in it, so I'm not even using it for the right purpose. See, this is why I do these things ahead of time. Because I don't always know what I'm doing. Evie says, no, I don't. Anybody doing any crafting today? So this one just didn't cut right. I'm going to have to cut it again. And that's probably because these are really not for intricate dies. Like they don't work that great with intricate dies. I should probably just pull out my Big Shot. Where did the other die go? There it is. Okay, so let's try, let's hope that we get them a little bit better this time. I think putting them on the ends helps it to, if I have too much trouble this time, I'll just switch and use my Big Shot. The other thing about getting free stuff is that making the time to actually make all of these videos. Well, hello, you need to stay in there, mister. Huh, did you see that? It just popped right out. Stay put. Finding the time to make all these videos is also really difficult because I really love making process videos. I don't really want to make too many non-process videos because process videos are my jam. I really, really love them. They're the funnest to make, and I think that people enjoy watching them. So, are we all okay? I did not know that, Christine. On CBC Radio. I will need to check that out. So Evie's niece is coming over and she loves to scrapbook. She's 5. So that's our thing we do together. Aw, what a great age. I love 5. My kids used to scrapbook at 5 and 6 and even 7. And then Liv was doing a traveler's notebook for a little while last year, but now she's just kind of over that. I don't know, she's at that age where if it's not cool, she really doesn't want to do it. Hanging out, that's her main thing that she wants to do. Hang out with her friends. Ugh. She wasn't like that when she was 5. Yeah, thank you, Evie. That's so sweet of you. I love making the process videos. So the other things like, you know, product reviews and unboxings and that sort of thing. I should say product reviews, but they're not actually reviews, as I mentioned. They're fine, and they do give me supplies that allow me to then make process videos. So that's, you know, that's good. It does keep it all going. Everything is connected to everything else. But yeah, I'm with you. I'd rather make a process video than something else. So Christine is heading to her craft room. And she's picking up a new Stampin' Up! Order. What did you get, Christine? I'm curious to hear that. Okay, this is really not fun. Curious to hear what you're getting. These die cut things are kind of going to drive me crazy. There is no way I could make multiple cards with this because I can't do that. It's like, whoa, really bad. Can I cheat and use this? No, I can't. Aw, thanks you guys. Give me all kinds of love for my process videos. I really, really enjoy making them, so I'm glad that people like watching them because I think I would make them anyways. Even if nobody watched them, I would still make them because it's fun for me. You know, I learn a lot about scrapbooking just by kind of like putting into words the things that I do, and I'm like, oh, sometimes I didn't even know I was doing that until I go to explain it, and I'm like, oh, that's why I did that. All right, so these are not the most easy to use, or they're easy to use, but they're time consuming. And I'm not going to want to layer them this way. I saw some people online who were layering them this way, like kind of starting at the top and layering down like that. I'm inclined to start at the bottom and layer this way because then you're going to end up with like it's going to be more like a real tree where the top boughs are on top of the bottom boughs. That's the way I would like it to be. Anyways, which means I have a lot more cutting to do, you guys. Christine got some new inks, some of the new foil snowflakes. I saw those online. They look gorgeous. And the coffee-themed paper. Coffee-themed paper. That sounds awesome, too. I don't feel like I need more of these little ones. So I'm going to stop with those now and just keep cutting these. Maybe I should bring out my Big Shot. It might be easier. I'm going to go get my Big Shot. Be right back. I love my chair. My big toe, by the way, still hurts. I love my chair when it's not breaking my toes, let's put it that way. So I am going to use my magnetic platform because it's just simpler when I use it for all thin dies just because it's simpler than having that floppy thing. I find that sometimes the magnetic part of it doesn't actually work all that well. Is there anything else I might want to cut out of green while I'm at it? I guess not. The other nice thing about using my Big Shot is I don't have to cut my paper into tiny little pieces. Ah, so Katie watches my videos but does not scrap. What do you do, Katie? What is your creative vice? Do you plan to scrap but just haven't started yet? Or do you make cards? Or what's your thing? Okay. So I feel like I need that precision thing. For cutting intricate dies because this one is not really cut all the way through. Maybe I just need a shim. I have that precision thing, but I don't really know how to use it, to be honest. I haven't really looked it up. Now is a good time to learn how to use it though, isn't it? I'll be right back. Where is it? Can somebody tell me what it looks like so I know what I'm looking for? Is this it? No, this is a scoring thing. Hang on. Oh my, I haven't even used it yet. That's why I don't know how to use it. So, Christine wants to know what happened to my toe. Well, my last live stream, I did a demonstration, I think. Maybe I should hang on to these since I just said I don't know how to use it. Let's not throw away the instructions. I think the instructions are right on it. Yeah, they are. Okay, so I can toss this. Works with detailed thinlits. Wide range of materials. That's all I need to know about that. Okay, so what happened was I had my toes kind of like wrapped around the bottom of my chair and then I moved and the wheel went over my big toe and I heard a giant cracking noise. I think you use this in place of one of your cutting mats, if I remember correctly. Okay, so it says extended multi-purpose platform. Do I have to use that or can I use the magnetic one? I'll follow instructions. I am a rule follower, so I'm going to go get that. So extended multi-purpose platform, this precision base plate, upside down I'm guessing, and then the die cut, and then the paper die cut, and then a plate. Okay, so a cutting mat. So it goes like this, and then like this, and now I've lost my dies. Too many things, guys. Where are they? Oh, here they are. Just off screen. I was hiding them on you guys. Okay, so let's give this a try. I'm losing everything. So Katie makes cards mostly, but also does lettering, knitting, crochet, did Project Life for a while. Hard to stay up to date. Yes, it sure is. Thinking I might do some Traveler's Notebooks. Oh, that's a nice gateway drug for scrapbooking. Oh, that didn't cut it at all. That did not cut at all. So I guess I'm not using the right kind of dye with that. I don't know, guys. What am I doing wrong? Do you guys do this kind of thing? I hope you guys didn't come here hoping to actually learn something from me. Because that's clearly not going to happen today. Katie, you make cards. Help me use my precision base plate. Okay, forget it. I'm not even going to use it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to use a shim instead. Let's put that there. Let's get this shim. I write shim on it so I don't accidentally throw it away. Okay. Okay. Let's try this again. Also, maybe poking out these little things is good. That's what this is for. And it works really great for that. Yes, using things for their intended purpose usually helps. Okay, so people are suggesting I use a shim. I think you were suggesting I use a shim along with the precision. Oh my goodness. Okay. A shim along with the precision base plate or whatever that thing is called. Okay. Here we go. We're going to try it again. It definitely feels tighter with the precision plate. Shim plus precision base plate should cut anything. Not. Yeah, that barely cuts. It does cut, but yeah, it cuts. Whew. There we go. It's funny, it didn't seem like it cut, but it did. Oh my goodness. This is not a fun way to spend time poking all those things out. At least you guys are here with me. So what I learned from this experience is that making those really cool looking trees is not something I want to do. Oh well. I know I'm going to like making the staircase, and that's what I'm going to do next. When this tree is done, it's on to the staircase. And I think I'm going to need a couple more. So, there we go. I have the shim still, so that should work. Yeah, this plate is flat. My plates are relatively flat. They're okay. They're pretty. I have another pair that are really not flat. That makes a difference, does it, Katie? Also, I find just going through twice sometimes helps too, eh? So we'll do that as well. Let's get this out of my way for a minute. Oh. Ah, that's nice. That is well cut. Wow, Katie moved to the Netherlands 5 weeks ago. How are you finding it? Were you at a part of Australia that had a lot of cold? Well, I don't. Does any part of Australia have a lot of cold? I know some parts of Australia have some amounts of coldness. But I'm guessing you're chilly. For your husband's new job. Well, that's very exciting. Have you ever been to the Netherlands before? How exciting. I love the idea of moving to a new country, learning all about a new culture, a new way of life, new environments. Like I always notice like the different kinds of plants they have in different places around the world. So Evie's not going to get the pine tree dies. Well, I think the rest of this die set is going to be really fun. But yeah, this is not so much. I think this is the one that didn't cut very well when I didn't know what I was doing. Thank you guys for helping me figure that out. I'm going to put this down here. This out of my way for a few minutes. And let's not lose any of those dies. There we go. Okay. What am I missing out on while I poked all those holes out of the trees, out of the leaves? Oh, hang on. My mother-in-law just texted me, so I should just check and make sure that that's not something I need to attend to. I'm sorry. Okay, just stuff about Thanksgiving. So in Canada, our Thanksgiving is next weekend, so I will make sure I check that out before next weekend. Okay, so yeah, they would be pretty, but you can't make multiples. Well, I mean, I guess you could. It depends on how much you like that kind of finicky thing. Some people find that kind of repetitive task very relaxing, and for those people, that's great. Go ahead and do that. Okay, let's see if the staircase wins you people over who are saying, "Nuh-uh, not for me." That's my goal. I mean, really, I don't really mind what you think, but I am very excited about the staircase. So I'm not being too careful about how I glue this because I know that it's going to be covered by the other layers because this is the bottom layer, right? But I'm following the stamped pattern. Oh, I think this is going to look really, really nice, you guys. Really nice. And of course that glue will dry to clear and there will be other layers on top of it, so it's no big deal. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. So I think this might be a nice for, like, definitely not for mass producing cards. This would be too time consuming for most people, at least for me. But I still think that this card is so pretty, or this tree at least, is so pretty that it's going to be a really nice one-of-a-kind card to maybe give to one person. Somebody who really appreciates how much time and energy it takes to make homemade cards, because, yeah. So as I get to the top, I'm going to tear that piece off. Is that close enough for you guys to be able to see what I'm doing? I think so. I like to use Tombow Mono Multi on all of my cards because it is it's a really strong glue. And it does dry to clear, and it doesn't have the same glossy finish that some other dyes or glues have. Dyes. Okay, so I think I'll put this one right here. It doesn't have to be exact, but I really like that you can almost exactly overlap with the stamp. So Katie, talking about the Netherlands again, came for 3 days for his interview, but other than that, has never been there. It's not too cold yet, and Amsterdam rarely freezes or snows, so it should not be too big of a change. Okay. Well, that's excellent. We wish you great luck and fun and great life experiences. These are not the kind of dyes that I would like to run through a Xyron machine, for example. Sometimes I like doing that for these really intricate dyes, but because I want the bows to be flipping up, I actually don't want to do that. Oh, these are so pretty. I love this. I am totally in love. Let me see if I can kind of like cut this one down a little bit and stick it in here. Yeah, just one more layer right there would be nice. So what I'm thinking about here is I just want it to look kind of natural and have the bows flipping up every here and there. So now I have all of my big bows down. And now I can fill in these smaller bows wherever I think it might need some, either like if too much of the stamp is showing, so like right there, for example, there's this gap and you can see some of the stamp, and so I'll put one or maybe even two right there. Another one. Maybe I'll have that one kind of come out a little bit more. There we go. That's so pretty. I really love it. Really, really love it. And so in the catalog, they used I'm just going to hang on to these in case I decide to add them. If I look at it again, sometimes I wait a few minutes from when I do something, and then I'll look again in a few minutes and see if something strikes me as being kind of bare or needs a bit more. Like I'm thinking I might need some more in this layer right here. Didn't have to wait too long to realize that, I guess. Oops. Oh, I'm feeling Christmassy all of a sudden. Yeah, so I was mentioning that Thanksgiving is next weekend here in Canada. And so we have to decide what we're going to be bringing to my mother-in-law's. My father-in-law had surgery in the late part of the summer, and so he's not very mobile. He wasn't very mobile before that because of his, he had well, he has multiple injuries and issues going on with his back and his legs. And so, so we had been going to them more than they coming to us for a while. But, oh, Tombow Mono Multi makes your finger so sticky. Yeah, so, but now he's recovering. And so hopefully he'll be able to come to us sometime soon because we love having them come to us as well. But it's very nice going to visit them because they live in a very rural area and it's very quiet and peaceful and lovely out there. Yeah, one special card because it certainly does take a long time. It's so nice though. So what I was thinking is that I would, instead of, I think in the catalog they die cut a yellow piece of cardstock to make the star at the top of the tree. I think, oh, look at this, making a mess. Oh dear. So this star is what goes on top of the tree, like that. And so I am going to actually use some glitter tape, if I have some wide glitter tape. So I have some glitter washi tape, but I don't think that's going to be give quite as much emphasis as I want. This is glitter tape, and my question is it wide enough? It is not, but I like it enough, and I do have some pieces of glitter cardstock in my stash, but they're pretty big and whole, and I don't necessarily want to pull them out, and I rarely use my glitter tape, and this is a perfect opportunity to use glitter tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 2 of them, or maybe what I might do is get myself a piece of scrap. I'll choose yellow, and then this tape does have adhesive backing on it, so let's put 2 strips of glitter tape right beside each other. It's your birthday, Moira! Aw, happy birthday! I can't believe I forgot it was your birthday. Aw, I'm so bad with remembering stuff like that. Happy birthday! How awesome! How do you plan to spend your day? 60th birthday. When I was young, I used to try to say that's why we had Thanksgiving. Haha, was for your birthday. Oh, your birthday is on Thanksgiving Day, is it? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so let's run this through. We'll run it through my Big Shot to make sure we get good results. And because it's right here. So I probably don't need that precision die thing, base plate, whatever it's called. It might not hurt to use it anyways, but I'm going to do it this way. Next Sunday, the 8th, is Mo's birthday. How awesome is that? And we have a little gold star for the top of our little tree. Oh, I love it! Oh, you guys, do you love it as much as I do? I really love it. Yay! And I think I'm going to use some, whoops, I have to be careful. All my cords for live streaming are right there. And if I pull too much, everybody's screen is going to go blank and I'm going to go offline. So guess what? Stampin' Up! Makes mini dimensionals now. Maybe they have for a long time, but I didn't notice it. You guys know how much I love Stampin' Up! Mini, or just dimensionals. Now they make them in tiny little ones. Did you guys know this? Am I the only one who didn't know? Here. You can't see that. I'm just holding up a big white thing to you. Oh, hang on. I've got 2 sheets here. So this is a mini one, and this is a regular one. Look at that. Mini. So cute. So I'm going to use a little mini dimensional and stick it on the back. Of course, you don't have to buy the minis because you could just cut the edges off of the regular sized ones, but I have to say it's very handy having the option to just grab a mini. I don't think I'll buy as many minis as I buy big ones, but it's nice to have them on hand when you're too lazy to cut up the sheets. So I like my stars to look like little people with their legs and their arms and then the top being the head. And so I'm going to position my star so that I don't want it like right on top of the tree because I think that doesn't give me good balance, but I'm going to overlap it so that it completely covers the top point of the tree like that. And I think that looks really, really cute. What do you guys think? And now I saw people cutting like brown cardstock, pieces of cardstock for the base of the tree. I guess I could do that. I kind of like it just the way it is. I almost feel like if there was a floor or something that I could put right here, I could cut some wood paper to look like a floor, right? What kind of wood would we want for our floor? Maybe this. The wood grain is a little bit too big on that though. Like this. This is like photorealistic floor. Yeah. So if we put that right there, that might look cute, eh? Okay. So let's put it there and then we'll trim it down. That's a different way of doing it. Oh yeah. I keep going back here. I have a box of Stampin' Up! Stuff back here. I have temporarily hung up my ATG. I'm going back to using this kind of adhesive. This is the Stampin' Up! Snail adhesive. It's the exact same adhesive as Tombo's tape runners, which I used for years and years and years. And I really, really love them. I used to buy the refills in bulk from a store called Penwa, and which is an online store. I love this adhesive. It's just so easy to use. It's easy to refill. It's just all around easy and small. It's good for just kind of like your workspace. I'm trying to be mindful of kind of my workflow lately, and so that's why I'm only temporarily switching. I'm just going to give it a good long try and see, because it used to really meet my needs quite nicely. So I think I'll use this side here. So what I'm doing here is I'm just lining up the card with my grid, and then I'll line up this piece of paper with the grid as well, so that I can make sure that it's kind of straight like that. And then I'll just trim it down. I feel like the tree doesn't really need a trunk. We'll see how weird it looks when that's done. Maybe it looks weird. I don't know. And, well, now I'm wishing I had some type of a wallpapered background on this. This is why it's good to play around, right? Because if I had like a wallpapered background, another thing that comes with this set are these cute little wall pictures There's a whole bunch of them. And you could do like a little collage of, oh, that'll look so cute. Let's do it. Let's do it. So let's grab the Misty again. Let's grab the small Misty. We're just doing tiny little stamping, so we'll do it small. Okay. So, and then we can color them in. One, two, three. I know I know how to count. I was counting this one already. I know it's early and I'm not thinking straight, but I do know how to count to 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And when you're stamping for things that you have dies for, just make sure that you give yourself a little bit of space around the edges. Don't do what I just did. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more space than that, so that I can cut them out in one swoop and not have to readjust. Because I don't like my little dies to have, like, to overlap the metal parts, because they don't always cut properly when you do that. I might have given it even more space than I need there, but that's fine. And this doesn't have to be perfect. So what ink am I going to use? I don't know what I'm going to color these with. And sorry guys, but let's use Memento ink. I think this is what I use for Copic coloring. I don't think I'm going to use my Copics, but I might. I think it's Memento that I use. Aw, how cute. There was a hair or something on this one, so let's clean that up and restamp it. Okay. So if I were making this card again, oh, that's too far over. If I were making this card again, I would have put that tree on a, like a wallpapered looking pattern paper for the background. So let's clean these stamps up a little bit and then put them back. So Thanksgiving is coming up, and we usually celebrate it with a turkey, and we will again this year. But because we have a vegetarian in our family now, we will also have to make something different. So I'll be on the lookout for some type of, you know what, running this through my die seems kind of useless because they're just squares. I think they do have dies for them. They do. But I always find that square and rectangle dies are kind of, I don't know, pulling out your die cut machine and all that stuff doesn't seem quite worth it when you can just kind of like cut them out yourself. And also, you know, not everybody buys the dies to match with all of their stamps, so it's nice to just kind of do it the old school way. The advantage to using a die cutting machine is that you get that kind of nice finished pinched edge that you just don't get with scissors. And this one I cut a little bit too wide, like I left too much white around it. So let's trim it down. Oh, I think somebody's coming downstairs. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, you guys. We're making plans to go ice skating. Okay. So, Mo, you've switched to brunch on Thanksgiving. That's a lovely idea. I think we kind of do different times of day. Let me read what you said there. Then in the afternoon, if y'all go leaf watching, oh, that's nice. We always try to do a walk after Thanksgiving too, but we can't now that Papa can't walk. My family that I grew up in, like my parents, we always walked. Like it was that's what we did on Christmas Day. We'd go for a walk after all the presents were opened. We'd just go for a walk, and we'd go for a walk on Christmas Eve and just like walk around the neighborhood and see all the lights. And Easter and like basically any time that we're having like a big meal and get together, as like we had a very small family, so we didn't have like aunts and uncles and stuff or grandparents visiting, but we would always go for a walk as a family on those days. And that was pretty much the only time we went for walks as a family, unless if we were like, I don't know, going to a different town or something. So walking on those holidays is kind of just natural for me. But Scott's family, that wasn't part of how they celebrated the holidays, so we've only recently started walking on the holidays, and I really love it. It makes it feel more like a holiday to me. I'm gonna go get some Copics and they're so tiny. I'm gonna just use Stampin' Up markers. So, because they're right here, and they're easy enough to use. So I have probably Real Red and Gumball Green. Is that the green I want to use? Oh, we'll see. So I painted the holly leaves green, and I'll do every other light green. I think I might make the snowflake. I don't know what color I'll do the snowflake. I'll do the holly berries red and every other light red. And grab like a yellowy color for the bases of the lights. There we go. And maybe I'll do like a really light blue for the snowflake. So Evie's talking about leaves and wishing that they changed where she lives. Where she lives, they just go from green to brown. That's the way it used to be when I lived in Alberta. It just went from green to brown. There was some like a little bit of like a goldeny, orangey color, but it was pretty much basically a brown, a color of brown, because they didn't have any maple trees out there. So those are cute. Now let's pick a brown, a light brown. I think this is brown sugar. Yeah, baked brown sugar. It's one of my favorite browns. We'll see how this looks as, yeah, that looks decent as a frame. It'll kind of pick up on the craft and the wood floor. This is probably too tiny for you guys to even see. Sorry about that. I can't zoom in with this camera because it's a separate It might look like the same camera because it's the same angle, but I actually have to use a different camera. I have to use two completely different cameras from anything else that I use when I live stream. I have to use a special camera that's designed to just stream instead of capturing. So it's a webcam. And I have two of it. I have one there and one there. And oops, forgot this one. Okay, so let me see what you guys are saying. Oh, they don't fall until December. Well, that's nice though. You get cover right up until December. Yes, early October is the best time to come to Canada. Early October or in the summer. Well, I mean, unless if you like skiing or the winter. Then come in the winter. But yeah, October is a great time to come to Canada because you get to see the changing of the leaves. It's very brief. Some years the changing is very, very brief. So last year we went to Cape Breton and with the hopes of seeing the leaves, and I had a bad neck when we went, and then oh, this is so nice. You know what? I'm going to cut it right down. I'm going to cut off the white border. I thought I would want the white border, but it turns out I don't. So, and then we were going to go back because it ended up being really, really rainy, and I had to spend pretty much 100% of the time in the hot tub. Poor me, huh? So we were going to go back, but then somebody who we know who has relatives in Cape Breton said, don't bother, the leaves are already gone. So it's a really narrow window. Yeah, so Mo, I think it's different for you because it gets really hot where you live, right? It's never all that hot here in Nova Scotia. So I do enjoy the summer. I'm like you, I don't love really, really hot weather, but we don't get it here. So I do enjoy the summer here. Like the hottest, the other day it was 36 degrees or something ridiculous like that. Like, I don't remember it ever being 36 degrees here in my whole life. But normally in the summer it might approach 30, but that's about as hot as it gets, usually. Okay, so let's figure out where we're going to put these pictures. I kind of want to do like a little cluster of them there, and then maybe put a stamp a phrase right there. Like, what kinds of phrases do we have in this stamp? In this stamp set, a wish for everything, Mary. I think that's too big. Yeah, I think that's too big. But this one, at Christmas and always, I think that's supposed to be inside of the card, at Christmas and always. So it's like sharing the joy at Christmas and always. So I could do sharing and then the joy right there. And then I could have like a little gallery of photos of like wall hangings. I don't know. There. Where did my glue go? The reason I'm spacing them out like this is I think I want to put like little draw on little hangers, kind of like right here, and right here. There. Aw, isn't that cute? What do you guys think? I think that's pretty darn cute. And now, what are we going to do with this corner right here? I think we'll stamp sharing and then the joy, just like that. And we'll just put it right on the background. And I think we'll do like a tone on tone. Now, one thing you can do is you can actually cut this stamp if you wanted to do that, but I am not. I am going to use a block. Sorry, I have to go behind. Oh, I'm not broadcasting on that anyways. Sorry, I thought that was my camera I was moving, but it's my iPad. So we'll put sharing right there and then the joy right there. We want to kind of balance it nicely. And I'm going to use baked brown sugar, so it'll be kind of like a tone on tone. That's the color of marker that I used for the frames. I just got a bit on my finger. So let's do sharing first, and I'm just selectively inking it. So see how I just let this lay off, kind of like fall off the edge of my block, and I'm only inking over to here, over to the edge of the Y, of the G in sharing. There's no Y in sharing. Okay, and I haven't primed these stamps, and I hope I don't regret that, but we'll see. I'm going to stand up to get her straight, and it's always helpful to align your card with your grid so that your eye doesn't play any tricks on you and make it something look like it's straight when it's actually not. Sharing. Oh, I like that. It's so pretty. That's a pretty font. And then we'll put the joy. And this is harder to do the older I get, meaning as my eyesight changes, it's harder and harder to do this selective. And I just use my finger to wipe the ink off of the part of the stamp that I didn't want to get. Sharing, and then we'll put the joy so that it's right under it. Sharing the joy. Oh, look at that, you guys. I quite like that. Now we could decorate this tree. I actually really love it plain, but we could decorate this tree with some of the, we have this stamp that has these 3 little Christmas decorations. This is becoming quite a detailed card now, isn't it? And one thing that we could do if we wanted to make this even easier and quicker is we could stamp onto cardstock instead of stamping and coloring these little tiny things. So we could, for example, yeah, let's just make them all be red. And where's the ink I was using? Here it is. So let's put maybe like 6 or I don't know how many there. Okay, so now we have some dies over here. They really put them on there good, don't they? Okay, there you go. Get my big shot again. Okay, stop sticking to me. The die is sticking to me, so when I pull my hand away, the die shifts ever so slightly. That's one of the things I don't like about companies who use adhesive to hold their dies in place. Aw, look at these cute little ornaments. They're so cute. And they're easy because they're just cut out of red cardstock. And I like that it's 3 instead of like 3 in 1, both for the stamping and for the die cutting, because that really does make it easier to do it. This is really fun. Like, if you're not too hung up on making a whole bunch of these, it's actually quite a nice way to spend a couple of hours on a Saturday morning. I am only going to have one card after all of this, so you got to keep that in mind. And I guess, you know, like once I made one, then I'll know what I need, and I could probably mass produce this faster, like at a faster rate anyways, but it's still never going to be a very efficient thing to do because of all those branches on the trees. But the other thing that you could do is you could just stamp that tree, and the die set does have a die that just cuts it out. And so if you don't, the way to mass produce this would be to make the more plain version of the tree, which is just the stamped and die cut tree. And that would look lovely too, I think. So I think my dies are up there. Yeah, they are. All right. So if we wanted to, we could put little decorations on this tree. I think I cut way more than I needed. And I would be inclined to put the decorations on the places where the tree is like less layered. Like there are definitely some spots where what was I saying? Some spots where the where you can see where it's glued down. There, like that's kind of cute, eh? And I don't want to overdo it. Oops, that one is the same as that one, so we'll switch those out a little bit. There we go. And I almost feel like putting one in and underneath of here, kind of like that. Yeah, that's kind of nice. I like that. Okay, so Evie wants to know how I will store this die set. That's a really good question. I have I have some sets of these intricate die sets that have a lot of parts to them that go with a stamp set, and a lot of them are Stampin' Up brand. With the Lawn Fawn ones, I just, because that's what I have most of, I keep them on a piece of magnetic paper. So I buy this, oh, that's not it, that's labels. So I buy this magnetic, is this it? Yeah, magnetic sheets. It says Scott's soccer schedule on there. Isn't that weird? Because Scott used to take soccer photos, so yeah, so these are just my scraps, but I buy these sheets like this, and then I use a combination of Project Life cards and like this, and then I'll just like put the dies. If they were Lawn Fawn, I would do this. With my Stampin' Up! Ones, I usually just end up shoving them right back into the Sizzix folder that they come in, but I don't really love storing them that way. So I might start using this system for my Stampin' Up! Ones too. The more I get, the more I want to use the same system for all of them, right? Like it was fine when I only had 1 or 2 of the Stampin' Up! Ones. But yeah, I like this one kind of just sticking out a little bit. And I like them on a bit of an angle because that's how they would actually be on a Christmas tree. I know my Christmas ornaments always end up kind of sticking at a funny angle instead of hanging straight. There we go. Cute. And now let's get some Wink of Stella and sparkle those up a little bit. I always forget how you use this pen. I don't use my Wink of Stella nearly enough. Oh, it's just occurring to me, another thing that you could do, this one isn't quite glued yet, is you could put a little bit of frosting on the edges of all of the bows. I mean, this is already a pretty labor-intensive card, so maybe you wouldn't want to do that. But, you know, like with a little bit of stickles or a little bit of dusty, glittery stuff, you could just dip them all in it. That sounds awful, but as far as the process goes, but it might look really nice when you're done. Oh, that's kind of nice. I do think I like it without them, but that's nice too. And now it needs some garland of some sort, so let's look at what I have in my tape and twine. Tape and twine. Let's have a look. Where's the end of this? This looks like it might be kind of festive. Or maybe like a gold version of that. Yeah, this. Let's try to find the end of this. These are, what are these? These are Recollections trim. There we go. So I wonder if I can make it change directions by going like this. If I made it end under one of these, like that. I probably should have put this on before I put the, you know what, that's looking a little bit too cluttered to me. I'm not really liking it. I know that the sample had some type of a twine used, but I think it was a smaller twine than what I'm trying to use. Let me see that. Yeah, they just used like a thread by the looks of it. Like maybe even some baker's twine might look cute. Something like that. I wish I could find my brown linen thread. Wait, I found it. That makes it look really rustic. That's what they used in the catalog. It's just figuring out how to get it to anchor to the page is a little tricky. this one has gravitated up too far. It's too close to the other one. Come down. There. Can you guys see what I'm doing here? I'm just playing around with it, really. I don't know what I'm doing, but we'll see. We'll see if it looks okay. The nice thing is that these branches give you lots of places to kind of hook some string. So let's see if we can hook around this one. And then okay, we got this far. Come on. Trying to hook it around this branch right here. There we go. And now we can slip this under this one like that. Whew. And then maybe it can just disappear under this branch with a little bit of Tombow Mono Multi. Just like that. And then I can trim out that extra bit later. Whew! One card, you guys. But it's fun playing with these supplies. I actually didn't think I was going to make a card. Didn't I say that at the beginning? I'm just going to make a bunch of stuff. But I couldn't resist making a little scene with this one. There. So that'll dry and I can snip this off. There we go. So what do you guys think? Cute, huh? So I'm really excited to be able to give away this die cut, like the dies, the stamps, and even the pattern papers. That's pretty awesome. They're so generous. And my Find Your Mojo for the month of, I think for November or maybe for December, is going to be about kind of like using card making as a way to get you started with your scrapbooking. So let's find homes for all of these things. And now you guys have me wanting to make magnetic sheets for all of my Stampin' Up! Dies, so maybe I'll work on that with all of my free extra time that I have. I've been changing around my scrap room, trying to get it ready for kind of just be, I want it to just be the way I want it to be and not be in flux anymore. But it's hard because there's construction going on in my house and not really construction, but just like renovations. I think I mentioned it before. That just mean that everything is slightly in disarray. Okay, so yeah, this isn't the nicest way to keep things because this glue that holds the dies down ends up sticking to everything else, but we'll just stick them in their pockets so that that doesn't happen. But wait a minute, we have to keep them out because we're going to make a staircase next. So let's put this aside to dry. And let's make a staircase. I really wanted to work on making a staircase that has like a nice wooden banister and a nice white panel underneath. And I think I'm actually going to work on the die. Use the die for that. I'm going to keep these up here because I might still use them. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, let's see, what will we use? I would really like for the wood part to have a real wood look to it. So let's use this paper. Scissors. And okay, so we have our wooden staircase. I think that's going to look great. Step 1. Step 2 is a white, like wainscoting type of look. And I got some of the thick Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to use that instead of the regular Whisper White cardstock. So, assuming I can get into this package, there we go. Ooh, that is very thick. Wow. Nice. I don't like wasting anything, so I'm just going to cut around this like this. And this is a nice warm white. It's much better than the American Crafts white cardstock, which has a real blue look to it, and it's not going to look quite as nice as a wall. So this is for that half wall that's underneath the staircase. We are going ice skating later on, we just realized. When I was upstairs a few minutes ago, my daughter told me that we live very close to an arena, and my daughter told me that the arena opens for public ice skating. There's ice there all year round for hockey, but it just opened for public ice skating, so that's nice. I can't ice skate because if I fall, it will be bad. So I can't join them, but I can come. So I have to decide. There's a couple things. First of all, I saw somebody else use a warm Copic marker to just emphasize the embossing on this. So there is an embossed look to it, but I'm going to get some Copic markers. Let's see. I think I'd like to use warm, like maybe W3. I'll use W3. See how that looks. W. Okay, there is little pieces of other paper embedded in the fibers. Oh boy, this might be a little bit too dark. Maybe I should have used, what other W's do I have? I have W1. That might have been a better choice. Let's try using W1 on the other shadows. Yeah, W1 would have been a better choice. Oops, I went too far there. I think I'm going to have to do this again. That's okay. This is how you learn things. Remember, these are kind of like the beveled shadows with the paneling. Did I do that one? They don't have to be perfect because shadows aren't really perfect either, right? Yeah, I think I'm going to do this again. And I'm going to do it with the, and I'm going to take my time as well. I think I just did it too fast as well, but it's too messy and it's too dark. It's just too extreme. So I'm going to just cut that again. And this is how we learn, is by making mistakes. I would love to get this done in this setting if I can, like in this play period. Let's see. All right. So let's try this again. Using W1 instead of W3. Okay. Where did W1 go? Here it is. And I'm also going to take my time a little bit more. Put my arm actually down on the surface. This is the point at which I would zoom in if I was on my other camera, so bear with me. I like that. Using a really light touch on the way down on the other side. Basically, I want the shadow to be larger on one side because I think that's the way it looks in real life. There. There we go. I think that's very pretty. And now I just have to decide where the wood is going to, like which part of this I'm going to use. I think I'm going to cut around the whole, like I think I'll have the, not just the banisters. Well, yeah, let's start with, because you can always do more later if you want to. Let's start with just doing the banisters. And then I can cut more off if I want more. Okay. So with this look, just my banister here is wood, and I could even, if I wanted to, I could even make the railing be white, because you know sometimes you just have the banisters be wood. Like I'll show you that look, because I'm not going to do that, but I'll just show you how it would look. Sometimes you just have a painted railing and those sticks, those wooden sticks. What are they called? Balusters? I don't know. There's a word for them. I got to use my smaller scissors for this. So you can piece this together whatever way you want to make it look, maybe make it look like your staircase. For it to look like my staircase, these wooden parts would have to be black because I have wrought iron. And then the top would be wood. So you could make it look like this, which is kind of cool, right? That's kind of neat. Or you can have just the stair. Now I would go back and round these corners if I was doing that a little bit better. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have this whole thing be like an inset of white paneling. So that you've got like this. And now I'm just following the embossed line so that it's all kind of trimmed out with the wood trim all the way around this white paneling. I think it's going to look nice like this. And because it's embossed, it should kind of just fit right inside of the embossed area on the wood paneling. And so it'll be very nice. There we go. I just have to take off a little bit more off the edge here. Okay, now let's grab our adhesive. So, what do you guys think? I think that the staircase is the more fun part of this die set to play with. Oops, we got a little bit of adhesive showing there. There we go. So this would look really nice on a background like this, where like actually if we had something that looked a little bit more like a wallpaper, kind of like that, but this is too bright to be a wallpaper. Let's find something that's more wallpapery. Maybe something from Maggie Holmes. She has some wallpapery type of... This one looks a lot like wallpaper, but it's too much. This looks like wallpaper to me. It's again a bit too much. Nope, not in this one. What I'm looking for is something that's kind of subtle. I'll find something. Eventually I'll find something. Cute girl. Ooh, that's pretty extreme. Okay, I might not have much success finding a wallpaper paper right now. Not something that's going to fit with what I'm looking for anyways. Or what I have in mind. Okay. This is my last try. Urban Luxe from Basic Gray. This is definitely not going to have any wallpapery things in it. Oh, okay. I know I said that was going to be my last try, but I think, yeah, I think I'll find something in this one. Like this would look kind of cute. Okay, so we're going with a solid wall background, which is fine. What color will we use? Maybe we'll use this. Well, it's kind of a boring color though, but anyhow, what I would really like to do is to have the Christmas tree be like on this background. So here's a chance for me to use that tree in a much more doable kind of a way. So let's find the tree first of all. Here it is. Hello, Carina. Welcome. You came at the perfect time. How are you? So if you want to go back and see me making this tree, I'm using Stampin' Up! Products. It's called Ready for Christmas is the stamp set, and then there's also a die set that coordinates. It's called Christmas Staircase. Here we are. This is the first card that I made, or the first card like liner thing. It still needs a card base on it, but that's the first thing that I made. And now I am making a staircase using the staircase die. So this is not stamped at all. It's just die cut, and then I just used a Copic marker to add a little bit of emphasis to the paneling on this. And now some people have been using this as like a flap on their card, and I actually didn't make it. Like, you'd have to make your card base wider and cut off the edge. That, anyhow, it seems kind of complicated. So I'm actually just going to make it be like just on the front of the card and not have it be interactive. But I want the Christmas tree to be kind of like as if this goes down to the stairs go down to a big open room, and the Christmas tree is in the background. I don't want it to look like the Christmas tree is like right on the base, like right at the bottom of the stairs, but kind of like it's in the background. So we'll put it like that. And then we'll grab our, I don't really need my magnets here, I just shove it in the corner. Then we'll grab our Pear Pizzazz ink again, because that did a pretty good job on the other one. You've been singing all weekend. Where have you been singing? What are you doing this weekend? This ink pad is not very juicy, so I have to press pretty hard. Yeah, it's really not very juicy, is it? I'm going to have to double stamp that. Okay, so now, where did my little stairway go? There it is. So now we have our stairs that go down, and the tree is back there. So who all is still here? I know some of you had to leave, but who's still watching? I know Carina just got here. You've been singing all day. Are you going to let us know what you've been doing on a camp with your choir, singing Christmas carols? Oh, I love Christmas carols. I'm one of those annoying people who enjoys Christmas carols all year long. I don't necessarily play Christmas carols all year long, but it wouldn't bother me if somebody else did. So there's that. And now the tree really does look like it's floating. So the last time I put a floor down in order to help me with that. And I might do the same thing. How would that look? Let me close this up so I don't make a mess. How would it look to have a little bit of floor right there? Would it look too competing with the... Yeah, it does. It's too competing. If it was a different kind of floor, that would be fine. So let's cut ourselves a little tree trunk. I don't know, it could be as basic as that, right? That just really doesn't look very nice. I think I'll look for something like a little pot or something to put there. I'll have to look in my stash and see if I can find a little pot stamp or something. Like a flower pot. So that's really cute. I like that. Oh, the other thing I could do is I could put a bunch of Christmas presents underneath, and that would kind of make it look less like it's floating. So, what else do we want to do with this? I'm not going to be able to do this for too much longer because it's 11:01 now, and my kids will need some supervision at some point. So let's stamp. Let's do some tone-on-tone stamping and die cutting. We'll stamp green on top of green cardstock. Wait, didn't I already have green? Yeah, I did. So here's some green. Can I fit? Yeah, I can. So let's do this. Going to need another block. Sorry, guys. Who all just broke out into song? I want to know that too. Okay, there we go. Maybe overkill for the size of a block, but that's okay. Let's get Old Olive, maybe? It's kind of like a nice dark green. It's a nice warm dark green. I love Old Olive for Christmas. It's one of my favorite Stampin' Up! Colors. There we go. So, I would like to know, what is everybody's favorite Christmas or holiday songs? Since Carina was just singing Christmas carols at a camp all weekend, let's hear your favorite Christmas songs. Mine, I have a couple. One of mine is Oh Holy Night. That's probably my favorite classic Christmas song, like Christmas carol. And I'll tell my other ones after I hear from you guys. What are your favorite Christmas songs? I want to know. So, there we go. And let's grab the die for that. Cute. All right. We are accumulating quite a mess here, aren't we? So Mo wants to know who burst out into song, and I would like to know what songs. Now that just moved all over the place. I'm going to have to either use my magnetic plate, which is just over there somewhere, buried, there it is, or I'm going to have to use some tape. Let's try the magnetic plate. It doesn't always work. Yeah, it's working okay this time, so there we go. It kind of depends on how curved your cutting pads are, and mine is pretty flat right now. Baby, it's cold outside. That's one of my favorites too, Evie says. Deck the Halls is Carina's. Oh, Ave Maria. Yes. I love that one. I also really like Last Christmas, and not just because I'm a Wham fan. I actually have liked that one ever since Glee. The kids from Glee did it. I really love how that looks with that. That's very, very pretty. Okay, so, and it's really easy. Like, it's much, much easier than cutting out all those little branches and putting them on here. So I really like that. So let's add some adhesive to, so I'm actually going to add adhesive to my wall here, or not to my wall, to my railing. And ta-dum, ta-dum, ta-dum. There we go. The Christmas Donkey Song. Which song is that? Sing me a line, Evie. So we have this and we have that. What else are we going to do with this scene? What else are we going to do with this scene? We could put the table in the scene. I really enjoy the table. I'd like to cut the table out of wood. The same wood as the staircase. No, not the same wood as the staircase, because then where it overlaps, it will not show up very well. Let's cut it out of white wood. Is it going to show up? I think it will. You know what? I think it'll look nice made out of white wood. So let's give that a try. I know it's a little bit of white on white, but that's okay. It's a different kind of white. See how it ends up being kind of gray? And if I needed to stand out even more, I could ink the edges or outline it. There's all sorts of things I could do there. Let's give that a try. It's different than anything I've seen online, and I don't necessarily want my cards to be just like everybody else's. So, the donkey song, how does it go? What do you mean? How do I not know about a funny donkey song? I should know that. It sounds like something I would like. Oh, yeah, that's not going to give me the contrast I wanted. No, it is not. And again, that's why we play around with our supplies, is so you get a sense of what you like and don't like, and what goes and what doesn't go, and all that sort of thing. Could put the table over here. And I think that just outlining it might help as well. So why don't we outline? Outline it with a gray pen. My Chanel gray pen works pretty well for these sorts of things. I could also stamp on it. Duh. Maybe I should have stamped it and then outlined it. Yeah, that's what I totally should have done. That's what I should have done. What do you think are the chances that I'm going to be able to stamp on this? I'm doing it backwards, so you're supposed to stamp and then cut out. But let's see. I have my Misty here, so I might be able to do it. Might. If I put it in the bottom corner like this, and then I get my stamp, yes, Last Christmas by Wham is a good one. Okay, I'm going to try sticking the paper onto the stamp. Let me see if I can do this. Maybe I should just start all over again and stamp it and then die cut it. It's worth a try because I have this die cut here. I'll give it a try. I'm not really expecting it to work, but we'll see. We shall see. All right, so the idea, yeah, it's not going to work. Not going to be able to get that in the right spot. I think I just got it in the right spot. Okay, let's give it a try. Oops. I'm using Crumb Cake ink because it's a nice neutral and it's not too dark. If this works, you guys, I'm going to be like so surprised. Ta-da! It kind of worked. Look at that. It's off, but it looks okay. That worked better than I thought it would, but yet I'm still going to re-stamp it and recut it. Because that's the way I am. It's just a little bit too off. It's called Dominic the Italian Christmas Monkey? Donkey? Monkey. It's silly, but I sing it every time it comes on. How haven't I heard this song? Oh, I'm going to have to go look it up and listen to it. I might have stamped that a little bit too close to the edge, but that's okay. Now we take this, we put this stamp back so it doesn't get lost. And then we take this and we put it through our big shot again. This time with the image lined up with the stamp, like so. Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey. I need to look that up. All right. Oops. So, what are we going to do with this off-white table? We'll put it in the background, I guess. We could put it right here now that it stands out quite a bit more. Oh, that looks quite nice, actually. So people have been kind of like designing these cards like this so that the table is right here and it has some cookies on it, and then they stamp the dog and put the dog on it. I really feel like with that would look really nice with a stamped staircase, but it's gonna be a lot going on for like having all of those things be die cut. So I don't think I want to have such an elaborate setup. And I almost feel like putting it there would work a little bit better. I don't like the, yeah. I'm going to put it here. Go ahead and put it there. And then, oops, there's a little bit of extra adhesive sticking out there. And then what will I put on the table, you ask? Well, that's a really great question. I'm going to put these cookies and a little message to Santa. Isn't that cute? Cookies and a little message to Santa. No dog. I'm not going to put the dog on this one. I do like the dog. He's really cute, but I'm not going to do that this time. Because like I said, with all of this die cut, it's too busy. So I've stamped it. Let's just release it from that. I'm going to take my Stampin' Up! Markers and color in these cookies. Make them a nice, well, they're brown. I don't know if they're a nice brown, but they're brown. They might have been nicer with the crumb cake brown. There we go. And then let's make the tray pretty festive. We'll make the little plate be red for Christmas. There we go. And you guys know I have 4 of these little Christmas ornaments left that I could easily put on this tree. In wherever places I think work well. So that'll be something that we'll do too. First, let's cut out this. We got to put this back before we lose it. I lose stamps so easily. I try to always, always, always put things back as soon as I'm done so that I don't lose everything I own. Speaking of which, let's keep all these together. Cookies and the note. So what time is it? It is 11:17, so I have 10 minutes. I hear some raised voices upstairs. I might have to go up and see what's going on there. Go. Cookies for Santa. So let's put these on with a little dimensional adhesive. A full-size one here. And where did those mini ones go? Am I going to be able to find the mini ones? I don't think so. You guys should see my desk here. It's a disaster. But I found the mini ones. There. It's so fun playing with new products. I love this. Oh, wait, hang on. See how there's just a little bit of that panel showing there? I don't want that. See, just a little bit of the white panel showing from underneath. So I'm going to pry this up and position it so that you don't see that little distracting little bit. There. That's better. Oh, I really like this. I like how this looks. And I'm going to, just again to give it a little bit more dimension and emphasize the fact that the staircase is closer to the viewer than the scene, like the rest of the scene behind the staircase. Oops, I folded that by mistake. Let's get rid of that. Can these fit there? I don't know. Oh, I love these little ones. Oh, the little ones are very handy, you guys. I'm happy about that. So here we go. Just like that. What do you guys think? I quite like that. Let's decorate the tree. I am really digging making these scenes. It's really fun. That's what I love about Lawn Fawn too. I love making scenes. You can take that in a couple of different ways, can't you? All right, I'm going to put the same star on this tree as I put on the one before. Do I have still some of that little piece of yellow paper that I could just cut another star out of? Yeah. But I don't have enough room to cut another die, so that's fine. I'll just take 2 more pieces of glitter tape. I'm getting ahead of myself, I know, right? I haven't finished the one thing, which is decorating the tree, but let's just get this ready to go. All right, now we'll put one there. Wait. That one there. We'll put one kind of like showing through there. Maybe one right here. Does that look good? I don't know. It kind of looks a little bit distracting. I'm not sure that I like it. I don't think I like it. Hello. Yes?
Sid's dad is gonna drive me.
Okay.
At 11:50.
At 11:50, and you'll bring your ice skates.
Yeah.
And then you'll meet Sophie and I there.
Yeah.
And where are you going to go from 11:50 until 1?
The skate park.
Will you be eating lunch before you leave? What will you have for lunch?
No.
Okay. Go figure out what you're going to have for lunch and let me know what it is. And yes, as long as you can have a nutritious, we're live streaming.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Hi.
As long as you can have a nutritious lunch, then I'm okay with that plan. Okay?
Is there people on?
Yeah, there's 6 people. 6 people. It's just my Patreon group. It's not the whole wide world. So. They're seeing you now.
Yeah.
Because that in the background is what's live. Yeah.
I see it. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Did you say 11:30? That's like 5 minutes from now.
Huh?
Did you say 11:30?
50.
11:50. Okay. Go. Whew. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to do that for the decorations. They're too big and too distracting. Too big and too distracting. So let's see. I was going to finish in 5 minutes. Let's see what we can get done in 5 minutes. We'll get the star cut for our tree. Let's see. I think I put that away. Yeah, I did. We will get the star cut for sure. I was hoping to change your mind about this die set. Just keep using it until you guys decide to buy it. That's it. All right. Where did I put all those dies? Oh, right there. Okay. All right. So here, in this case, I actually don't want to pop the star up with a pop dot because it's behind everything else, and I don't want it to look like it's in line with everything else. So let's put it right here, flat on the page, like that. And now we have an undecorated tree that has a star on it. Maybe I need to decorate it. Yeah, the ornaments are too big for the tree, especially having the tree be in the background, and it's too much. It is too much. So what else could we do with this tree to make it look a little bit more finished? Maybe it just is what it is. I like a plain tree. Does it have to be decorated? I don't think it has to be decorated. Let's just leave it. Let's leave it plain. One thing we could do is we could like kind of put some glitter on the edges of it. I know I keep talking about glitter. I hate glitter. And there's so many other parts of this card that have exposed like little bits of glue showing that I'm going to have to go back and like I don't like any glue showing on anything that I make, so I'll go back and I'll like push back that glue so that you can't see it anymore, but the glitter is going to stick to that. So glitter might not be a great idea. I could like maybe heat emboss, like take a little what are those called, Versamark pens, and then emboss a little bit of glittery stuff onto the tips of the leaves or something. could use small sequins. Yes, 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 I could. I could use small sequins. Yes. Tiny little sequins. Yeah. Didn't I say I was never going to use tiny sequins again? Wasn't that one of the times that we were live streaming and I said, yeah, I like it plain too. If I were to use tiny little sequins, I would use these ones. This is a mix of pink, but there are these little tiny white plain ones in here. They're like a little iridescent. Some of them are hearts and some of them are circles. Little iridescent circles is what I would use. They will be very hard to use. But they would be cute. I will do that another time because, woo, that's going to be hard. But there, I'll just leave them here to remind me, so when I come back to my table later on today, that'll remind me that I plan to put those little iridescent circles on the Christmas tree. So there we go. I think that that is the way this card will be, and then the greeting will be inside. I'll mount it on a card blank. So there, I made 2 cards today using that die set and stamp set. What do you guys think? They're pretty nice. They're not completely finished, but I think they're pretty nice. So somebody else didn't like the big ornaments. Can't you use small? Yeah, got it. Your favorite red ones. Yeah, I don't know about those red ones. I don't think I'm going to be using those. They were small though, weren't they? And they were flat. So I might revisit the red ones. They might be nice as well. All right. Carina was teasing me with the sequins, but I think I'm actually going to do it, but I'm going to use these little ones because I think they'd be subtle because they're just tiny and they're white, and I think they'll work the way that I want them to, just to give I don't want the tree to be too distracting, so I think that'll work. So there we go, 2 cards or 2 partial cards anyways, and I got to do the 2 different ways of doing the tree with either just the stamp or with the stamp and then the layered cut boughs. You could also layer cut boughs on this if you wanted to as well, but I chose not to, as you saw. And that's it. Maybe next time I make a card, I will get this adorable little wiener dog in there because he's at the perfect size to be up there sniffing the cookies and about to steal them. I think that's really, really cute. Yeah, that's adorable. So next time I'll try to get the dog. So thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. As I mentioned, this one was just kind of like playing with tools, doing some samples and trying to see, you know, how this stamp set looks and works so that when I do a video, I'm going to be giving away anybody who joined halfway. Stampin' Up! Gave me an extra set of the dies, an extra set of the stamp, and extra sets of the paper so that I can do a giveaway. So make sure you check out my channel for that. That'll be on my public part of my YouTube channel. Take care, and I hope you guys all have a really great weekend. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for joining me. All right. Of course, it takes a while to stop everything. I can't find it. Oh, I see. I'm in a different tab. That's why. Okay, bye for real now. Have a great day, everybody.